Hello, welcome back to today's video. Now, we are playing Gran Turismo 7, not F1 25. I know it's hard to believe, but we are on the new Spec 3 update track. And straight away, you can probably see how this race is going. Get a 3-second penalty for cutting across pit lane, so not too good, not a great start, although it is free practice or warm-up, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so starting in 11th out of 12, traction control 1, get a pretty good start, get a overtake done, so into 10th straight away, and then assume chaos on turn 1. I then smash into 2 people, I don't know why, and then coming out of the corner, another 5-second penalty. Okay, I mean, like, I shouldn't be getting that 5-second penalty. Okay, I definitely did deserve the 5-second penalty, but it was chaos again into turn 1. But we are in P6, so we have actually moved up 4 places since since the start of the race, really. Now everything's settling down. The gap behind is about half a second. We are just about a second off P5 up there, so now we have to catch up. And for the life of me, I didn't even realise I had the overtake button. That's why I've not actually used it yet. Car in front there has got a penalty. I believe it was 0.5 seconds, a little bit of a carnage behind there, not too sure what happened. But I've got to serve this 5-second penalty, of course, so let's serve it now. And watch the positions fly away from me right now. So actually, we've lost loads more. Now we'll skip to lap 3. Now we're still in last, of course, after serving that penalty back there on lap 1. Now we have caught up to like a big group there. Now something happens there. I think a little bit of contact, so move up 2 positions. So in the P10, due to, I believe, they just smashed into each other and then went off. So 3 positions for us, not too bad. Now, so there's 7 laps, obviously on lap 3. These Super Formula cars are very light. When they turn, you can, if you power on too early, you're oversteering. I guess that's what a lot of people did or do. Anyway, we are catching up again to the group in front. I mean, the group behind are 10 seconds. So whether they're actually just cruising at this point, I'm not really too sure. So we try and catch up to the first, the 2 people up here, 8th and 9th, or 9th and 8th. And again, still lap 3, coming up to lap 4 almost, and I have not used 1 ounce of overtake yet. And I just, again, completely forgot I could use it. But, you know, we do eventually use it. Anyway, I just brake too late. And somehow I don't get a penalty from it, so I'm not too sure what the track limits are for that particular corner. Anyway, yellow flag in front. We don't actually see the accident, so I'm not really too sure where it happened or where it was, but no positions gained there. So we are now just trying to catch up to Milky, although there is a crash right there. He was doing donuts instead of racing, so again another 3 positions. And another yellow flag incident, so he's just driving into the wall, so another 3 overtake, so now puts us in the P8 from being last, from then being P10. Anyway, so we're, they're battling with Mikey at the moment, who again probably uses his overtake button, which is why sometimes I feel like, wow, he just teleported far in front, but no, I think it's just using his overtake button. Now, a little bit of a better exit than Mikey there, so we get to do the undertake on him, but again, I think he uses the button to overtake. So we slip behind them, and then slipstream is really strong on this particular daily race, which is daily race A, by the way. And we haven't done one of them in, since Gran Turismo Sport, I believe, so, a good few minutes, of course. Now, lap 5, again, still in P8, P1, P2, I believe, just miles in front. And then we're just still battling here for P7 with Mikey. he just slams his brakes on. I then obviously give him a kiss of life on the rear end, but I am a little bit quicker through the corner, so get a natural overtake done, which then puts us into P7. Now, again, like I say, yeah, exactly the reaction. The cars, if you throttle on too early, I then get smashed behind from Mikey. So, you know, exchange the favours, of course. There you go, a little bit more oversteer. These cars are slippery, like I say. Now, coming up to the hairpin here, before the big, long straight. I thought Mikey, to be fair, was just going to dive bomb the inside, but he didn't, so that's pretty good of him, and I respect that a lot. Now, again, he is less than a second, and he's catching up at a rapid rate there, so he's definitely going to be overtaking me. And I'm not too sure, again, he must have the Gran Turismo gods doing some sort of tricks for him, because how is that not a penalty? I don't really know. Anyway, no penalty gets given to him, but again, I think we do get a nice, good exit, and obviously the slipstream does help. So, move back into P8. Again, these corners are very slow. Well, that one there anyway is quite slow, and you don't want to power out too early, but get the overtake done there. And I do have to say, with this track, is a lot of crashes. Anyway, another yellow flag incident. Again, we don't see it. Now, we do notice that the guy in front does have a penalty, Mike, there. So there's 2 mics in the lobby. So I'm not too sure how long this penalty is, whether it's half a second, which I don't think it actually is, considering the distance we gain. So it might have been a second or so. But that's that race done. We now finish in P6 from being 10th, and then actually no, P5. So job well done from being last to 5th. Not bad. So let's jump into the next race and see how well we get on in that race.
It's lights out and away we go.
Thank you, Crofty. And now obviously all rights reserved to the FIA Formula 1, and you know who that is definitely. Now, so we started in 12th, got the free overtake done on literally launch, and we've also now moved up literally half a grid, and the 2 cars in front there have both got 5-second penalties each. So, you know, we're in now P5, so we have moved up more than half the lobby in less than 3 corners, so, or 3 corners or so, which is great. Now, accidentally tapped the back of the guy in front. I think he went a little bit too slow. Anyway, use the overtake button, try and get the overtake done, brake a little bit, run a little bit too deep. However, keep it clean, don't want to make contact with anyone, ruin my race. But moved up into P4 now, so started last, now into P4, which is amazing. And probably, well, we are going to take P3 because the guy in front's got a 5-second penalty, so we went from last to a podium finish at least in less than 1 lap. So that's great news. It's a great race. So get the overtake done there. Now it's a race now to really try and actually finish first. I mean, it looks doable. I mean, from the position I'm in, we've got 6 laps to go, and you know, 2 positions to gain really. So we'll skip ahead a little bit now as we come round this left-hander. The Lawrence there has a crash, so actually now we are in P2, amazingly to be fair, and something I really didn't expect whilst playing this particular race, Daily Race A of course, with the Super Formula cars. So now we've got to try and catch up to P1 FS Bobby up there in front. He's about 2.3 seconds ahead, but I learned my lesson in this race to use the actual overtake button, and for everyone who wants to know, I don't know, maybe I've mapped the overtake button to L1, and then my look back button is the joystick on the right, so a bit more convenient for my fingers to use the overtake button as easy as possible and as frequently as possible. Now we get a really good entrance and exit actually out of that last chicane, so we've closed the gap down to FS Bobby to 1.3 seconds now. So brilliant there if we can get a really good exit out of this corner as well. He runs quite wide, but we have a little bit of a slip up. So 1.2 seconds now the gap. So we are closing down. We are getting there. Take these corners nice and smooth and fast. Then I can't see why we can't catch up. I mean, now we are less than a second, so you know it seems to be going correct, which is amazing. Now a little bit of a slide on coming out of the right-hander there, but don't use the overtake button. I know the slipstream is like good enough, and we still have got 4 laps to go, or 3.5 anyway. So literally on the exhaust fumes of FS Bobby there. We've got the right-hander here, the hairpin, obviously then the quite long straight, then the chicane. So we get a okay exit, a little bit slidey, but use the overtake button now to move to the outside, but he slowly comes across, I accidentally hit him, so I back off a tad, but go on the inside, brake late, get the manoeuvre done. Now into P1, so we have actually moved up. I know 2 people have left, but theoretically we have moved up 12 whole places. So by far this is probably like my best ever race I've had in Gran Turismo 7. I know it was a little bit like dirty, it's not exactly been a full clean race, but I don't think this particular race is this particular daily race anyway is as clean as any other race you will have or have in the future, or had, sorry. So we skip ahead now to lap 5. Not really a lot happened. We have been gaining time on FS Bobby there, so just over 2.5 seconds now. So I think at this point for me is trying to maybe just get some laps in and seeing how fast I can actually lap this particular circuit. I mean, I have set the fastest lap down there, as you can see, is of a 1:22.1. So we will again skip ahead to the final lap now, and we will on this final lap try and set the fastest lap and try and beat our own record of 1:22.1. So I've still got over a quarter of overtake boost to use, so I've got plenty of juice, as they say, for the straights and these slight curves where it's deemed necessary to use the overtake button. Now again, just got to be taking these corners smooth, taking these corners well as well as smooth. So you know we're over 3.5 seconds. So unless I crash or make some horrific mistake, then I ain't really worried about behind. So overall, I think this is a pretty good race to go from 12. I know there's 10 positions there to first. I think is a pretty good feat, to be fair, and I didn't expect to do that in this particular race. Anyway, now we're on this back straight here, or main straight, and using as much overtake button as possible. I'm not really too sure what the end lap time was. The screen fades way too quick, so perhaps I might slow it down to see if I can get a glimpse of it. But if you enjoyed the video, let me know down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn the notification bell on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.